Hi everyone, I am back. I've been busy releasing videos exclusively on Odyssey talking about Bitcoin. If you're interested, links in the video description below. Today, I'll give updates of this channel, my put options play, as well as ILMN and Beam Therapeutics Q3 earnings. But before that, let's settle in to that intro. I've been teaching biology since 2004. On this channel, I hope to simplify and explain the science behind the companies that's driving the genomics revolution, one video at a time. I've decided to decouple my YouTube channel from Odyssey. Previously, all the videos that I've uploaded here will automatically appear there as well. But moving forward, the two channels will offer different flavors of videos. Here, I'll continue to dissect the different biotech companies so that you can get what they are trying to do and whether there are potential for growth or not. There, I'll focus on current affairs that can be explained away with science and how I protect myself biologically, digitally, and financially in this strange new world. In short, a place where I can hold adult conversations. Some of you may not be familiar with Odyssey. Let me attach a well-produced video below for your reference. I'm looking forward to seeing you here, there, everywhere. I keep talking about put options because I want to show you that there is a viable way to make recurrent and passive income with minimal effort, especially if you control your risks and understand the company that you are invested in. As of the date of production of this video, I've added another $2,497 and 34 cents. I've been doing this in the last 6 months of the year for a tally of $18,282.16. To avoid the costs of closing put options, I've decided to let my options contract expire. Normally, if I open a put option with a starting balance of -1 contract, many people would advise you to close by buying one option back before it expires. However, the closing of the put options incurs brokerage fees and there is still some residual value, however small it is. If I let the contract expire without closing, there are no additional costs involved. I typically do so since I use a delta of -0.3 to determine my strike price for put options. The current price is quite a distance away, thereby reducing the risk of stock assignment when it expires. So far, I've not had any stock assignments, although I'm quite keen to have it, simply because I can make a new video to show you how I would deal with it. In the meantime, I'll put links in the video description below to the previous videos where I talked about how I trade put options. What's your thoughts or experiences of trading options? I'm very interested to know. For this section, should I refer to Illumina or Illumina and Grail or Illumirail? The Q3 earnings is a bit messy because of the costs involved with the merger with Grail. But despite that, things are still looking great because of the year-over-year revenue increases of 39.5%. Oh my! Grail contributed to 2 million of that revenue increase, but I suspect that it will increase over time. But despite the blowout quarter, the stock price falls. I've taken the opportunity to scoop up some more. Previously, I mentioned my first position opened at $395.50 with 3 shares. I've added another position at $450, followed by $412.50, and then another back at $395.50. My convictions of the company have increased because of the scientific fundamentals of the company, as well as the dire need that they fulfill in the medical marketplace especially. Short read sequencing plays a big role in the establishment of the COVID variants, especially considering that the genome is only 29.9 kilobases in total. Not only is there a huge demand for the COVID genome sequencing, the medical marketplace is buoyed by the potential increase in the demand for genetic testing of babies. And I'm not even talking about Grail's cancer screening yet. This involves the use of Illumina's technology to identify very sick babies that are just born if they have any genetic diseases. This is important because the earlier we can identify the genetic disease, the faster we can implement corrections or treatment so that we can circumvent the bad effects of the disease. Some of them could be life-threatening or have irreversible developmental effects. This is how babies can be identified as potential targets of gene editing therapies that Beam produces. This is a win-win, that's why I'm invested in both companies. Even though there are conflicts of interest in the study I've referenced, the study is still an important one because the use of Illumina sequencing is randomized, and the study participants are documented clearly with statistical evaluation afterwards, all according to the consort guidelines and overseen by an IRB and ethics committee. With the bar set so high, it is up to the competitors to match that. Otherwise, it will just be empty promises to gullible investors who do not do any due diligence. Recently, I saw a comment left by a pissed off CRISPR investor over an older video where I compared the first generation gene editing companies to Beam Therapeutics, who was adamant that CRISPR is better because it earns more than Beam Therapeutics. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry to say that that is so stupid. Aiyo! There's not a single therapy that's come to market for either of the companies. That's why both are considered pre-revenue. It does not make sense to therefore compare the two companies based on the income at this moment in time. It's like scolding the 2-year-old kid for being a good for nothing for eating and sleeping the whole day. Huh? But having said that, I'm very impressed with Beam Therapeutics for steadily accumulating licensing agreements. This time is with Sana Biotechnology with a $50 million upfront payment for Beam's CRISPR-Cas12b, and this is not inclusive of base editing yet. Two reactions when I read this. First, who is making these wicked awesome deals at Beam Therapeutics? And two, Beam Therapeutics had the patents to CRISPR-Cas12b. Where did that come from? To date, there are 3 major CRISPR-Cas systems. Right now, everyone have been using the CRISPR-Cas9, but there's also the Cas12a and 12b. Each of these systems are same but also different. This is because they are isolated from different bacteria. The CRISPR-Cas12b system has its advantages, the chief of which is that it is the smallest by molecular weight. This will make the payload smaller and increase the chances of entering into the target cell. However, the bacteria that the system is isolated from is the thermophile, hence have a structure that works best at 48 degrees Celsius. This is much higher than our cells, which function at 37 degrees Celsius instead. So Feng Zhang's team mutated the Cas12b to work at 37 degrees Celsius. Even though Feng Zhang is part of the founding team of Beam Therapeutics, I have no idea how the patent ended up there. But I suspect it's because the company can do base editing and therefore may provide much more value compared to Editas. That is just one of the many scientific developments of Beam Therapeutics recently. There's so much more. I'm convinced to add even more shares of Beam Therapeutics, and if I do, I'll definitely let you know. What a whirlwind of updates. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and there's a community tab quiz that you can participate in. You've been awesome, and I'm Benjamin Yang. Thanks for staying to the end.